TJ from Brewzle has taken Whiskey Chew by storm as the top subscribed whiskey YouTuber. He's put whiskey into a lawnmower.
And we are pouring that in a lawnmower.
His videos are fun, but what he's most known for is his bourbon hunting videos. They're now the most viewed genre on whiskey YouTube, where he basically goes into these different stores and he gives kind of practical and fun advice about what bottles to buy and maybe not buy. But there's a problem.
There are no scotches I like. No, I don't like scotch at all. This is a scotch. I'm gonna hate it. No, I definitely don't need any scotch. Not for me.
He doesn't like scotch. After trying hundreds of scotch whiskies, I'm gonna pretend I'm shopping with him. Every time he talks about scotch, I'm gonna talk about what you should think about, but I'm gonna need some help. I'm gonna need a pro. So what I've done is I've brought on Jeff, who is the world's best. What are you best at, Jeff?
I'm an expert in trying my best. If that's not the most depressing thing you've ever heard, I don't know. We are two serious people, serious whiskey talkers, taking this man to whiskey Scotch court to get him to say, you know, I'm going to dabble into the Scotch world.
See, often these bourbon YouTube channels, I think they have too much fun. Kind of show them how to drink more serious, like us. So I've got you.
Brilliant. There's no one better than two non-Scottish people to take this.
So we've got a random Kiwi here. What's your birds in England?
Seagulls.
Seagull. So we've got a Kiwi here. We've got a seagull to take on the American eagle.
Leverage the different types of stores to find good bottles of whiskey. Good. How about yourself?
Oh, good, thank you.
Australian whiskey. So this will be my first Australian whiskey right here. Starward single cask release. It's a single malt. I'm not going to like it. I'm just going to go and tell you, don't hate me because I don't like your single malt.
So that sounded pretty fancy for a bottle, you know, halfway across the country.
It's amazing Starwood have that sort of distribution to get into these random little shops.
Wine barrels and then finish in the French oak cask.
The malts that I like so far have been wine finish, so not really port so much. Maybe sherry cask finish.
Interesting. I wonder if that means he likes sweeter whiskey is the way for him to go.
I would have assumed, because I find often some bourbons to be not necessarily like malty, but they have that kind of base to it, that slightly dusty-ish level to it. I'm surprised that's not his jam at all. So yeah, I think going for something sweeter, maybe a single grain whiskey could be a good entry point, but I can't imagine there's much really like well-aged single grain.
This one is kind of interesting to me because it's Ozark Highland certified, which obviously makes me think of a scotch, but completely different aging environment, and I'm wondering if this spends its life in a different aging environment as well.
There's a huge rise in single malts coming from the US now, actually.
Yeah, Westwood, for me, they've just done amazing stuff.
And we're going to do a little Bourbon Hunting 101. So we're going to give you some tips to maybe improve your bourbon hunting. Tip number 1 is to have bourbon friends.
Do you have bourbon friends?
I don't have friends at all. I mean, yeah. Do you think a man who wears shades indoors has friends? Why do you think we started? This is why we start a channel, isn't it? Because we don't have friends.
Friends that will share their places that they find good bottles. And a lot of folks want to hoard their honey holes. They don't.
Do you hoard your? Do you hoard your? What even? Do you hoard your? I'll take that as a yes.
This might be the biggest liquor store I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't even know where to go. Jesus Christ. Some pricey scotches and Japanese whiskeys over there. Wouldn't even know where to start. I'm just going to go down this aisle and walk slowly, and y'all try to see what you can see.
This is much better than my local Tesco's.
There's no shop with this much liquid in New Zealand.
But straight away, I can spot that Cutty Sark Prohibition. So that's straight away bang on the money. That's an amazing. I don't know what the price is there, but that is an absolute slam dunk of a whiskey. 50% ABV. I'm in love with that because that's a brilliant budget bottle.
That Cutty Stark is underrated. You've got Grants here and you've got all the classics. That's that hidden gem there. Oh, that's the pricey stuff here. There's a Springbank 25.
So just, you know, common shelf picks.
In the top left, you can see the signet. Maybe you've got a client that's like your top client and you're willing to drop, I imagine this must be like $200 US. I can't see the price.
Glenmorangie Signet's been on my hit list for a while. I was going to get it at 130 quid and I was like, nah, that's too much. And now I'm looking around 200 quid here in the UK. It gets compared to Johnny Walker Blue Label because it is that, you know, you gift a client you want to impress. They're both non-age statements, but for me, the Signet smashes Blue Label. It doesn't have the same recognition.
What they do is they basically roast the barley, so almost like roasting coffee. So you have this like real nice dark chocolate and coffee notes, and it's bottled at 46%.
Yes, you definitely need. I think we got the right one for you. I think we got the right finished whiskey to try. Ooh, there's a Springbank right there.
Whoa.
So I was going to buy some
Oh,
Springbanks.
what the? $93.
Just turning around. Oh, there's a Springbank.
It's just some random store. Look at this.
That's amazing.
There's one behind it too.
Nestled between High Coast and Highland Park is just a Springbank 10. I want to go there. This is amazing.
Hang on, there's Port Charlotte's. This is a great selection. Look, there's even a Herrick there, the Harris.
Amazing, that.
So if any of you guys are into like light and fruity whiskies, Herrick's a new distiller. I really enjoy it. I know some places the prices can be a little bit high, so just check what the price is, but I've enjoyed the first release. Port Charlotte, I did a video a few years ago where I basically got all you guys to rank what your favorite smoky whiskey was, and Port Charlotte 10 came out as number one.
Somewhere.
Is that a Scotch?
This is a Scotch. I'm going to hate it, but this is like the Pappy Van Winkle of Scotches. And so they're fairly hard to come by. I was on the West Coast. I saw them in every liquor store I went into. I got a lot of flack on that video for not buying them, even though I'm not going to like it. But I said if I saw them again, and I just turned around and there it was right there. Springbank 10. Sitting on the shelf for $94. I don't know if that's a terrible deal, a good deal.
Good. It's rubbing it in.
We're blowing the budget today. At this point in my whiskey journey, I'm looking for stuff that stands out on a shelf of a bunch of whiskey.
If he is going after that more interesting stuff, because I imagine there are all those classics, the Lagavulin 16, the Lafroig 10. If you do kind of have all those classics, really, as we're talking about, check out those signatory bottles. That's where you're going to find some really interesting stuff if you do want to go in that direction and get something a little bit different.
You like Irish whiskey?
Not particularly, no. I do like some of like the Redbreast, the 12-year or it's 15.
You like Irish whiskey?
It's all filtered through a dirty sock to me. So.
Why are you being so obtuse?
That's Scotch, not Irish whiskey.
Oh, no. What are we doing? We're drinking sock whiskey. Are we, Jeff?
I love it. I love it.
Let me show you something. I've been working on this for the last 12 months, and really it's going to be the ultimate tool and companion to enjoying whiskey. It is the First Fill Flavor Tree. I always talk about the three gateways to whiskey. Your rich and spiced. You know, that's normally your ex-sherry cask whiskies, fruit and floral, kind of your spirit forward, ex-bourbon cask whiskies, or your peaty and smoky whiskies. But I felt like there were two categories missing from that. The earthy, the chemical, and then you've got the wood and grain, especially from bourbons. Most whiskies will have a mixture of different branches. So the way it really works, okay, is this whiskey not smoky or is it smoky? Even beginners, I find, can answer that question. Okay, no, it's not smoky. Is it rich and sort of spiced or is it not? Oh yeah, I kind of is. Dried fruit, syrup, dark spice. Maybe some dried fruits, not sure which one. Then power suggestion. And then you can go, oh yeah, that's what it is. It's raisins. Something you can hang up in your lounge, your office. I honestly think this genuinely is going to help your whiskey journey. Check out the shop. Back to the video.
Yeah, I'd rather buy 3 or 4 bottles.
Whoa. What the? A gun.
Even spotted the giant gold rifle on the top. I was looking at the whistle pick.
40% ABV.
How would you pour it? Like, do you use the scope to aim it and it's like a super soaker water pistol? Or?
Yeah, I think you just aim it at the person who wants to drink it and it just fires it into their mouth.
It's like doing shots at it.
Literal shots.
That's how you look at it. There's bourbons that you don't like, bourbons you do like. There'll be scotches you like, scotches you don't like.
What if I just don't like them? What if there are no scotches I like?
You'll find one you like. There's too many of them not.
You're guaranteeing today you're going to find me a scotch I
I'll
like.
find one you like.
Now, I had a working title for this video, and we were going to go with Are All Scotch Drinkers Assholes?
He's not wrong, but...
Are we assholes? Are we assholes, Jeff?
It's not for us to say. It's for people in the comments to tell us that we are.
Do you know what we need to do? There's only one thing.
I'm concerned. I feel like I need parental support what's about to happen.
What do all YouTubers do when they've been called out?
Are we going to drop a diss track and do a rap
We're
battle?
going to drop a diss track. He was friendly, but he's gone too far.
You were kind, TJ. Now it's time to get out of the way. Bourbon's had its heyday. Come on, Phil, what'd you say?
Let's go. Yo. Phil steps up with Port Charlotte in hand. Chef slapping bottles, Scotch takes the stand. Brewzle's talking big, bourbon on his mind. But this is a battle, and Scotch is what you'll find. You're hunting bottles, but it's all the same. Rare breed's cool, but can you play the peak game? Ardbeg, barrel match, bringing the heat. Phil's got Peter, Jeff slapping that beat. This is...
On second thought, let's not do a Distrack. I think it's a silly idea.
Yeah, that wasn't a good move. I think we've embarrassed ourselves. My shirt's come unbuttoned.
And Scotch is the sophisticated man's drink. If you're smooth and suave and sophisticated and cultured, you're going to drink Scotch. Yeah. And so everybody who has an awful lot of their self-worth tied up in their image likes to think they're sophisticated and cultured, and they drink Scotch. And then they go into the comments and they hate on the bourbon drinkers. So we like to troll them a little bit.
Yeah, you bourbon drinkers, you're all swamp donkeys.
Make me sick. We've taken a slamming here. We have, Phil. We have been. The chain has been thrown down. The gauntlet is on the ground. But fair play to him. He's spoken that he's not a Scotch man, and that's fair enough. Like, we all have preferences, and I imagine he sees the same with our channels. Same. If he watched us do like a bourbon rundown, he would probably think the exact same. So fair play for him trying to break into it.
I think you're right. Like, we were to do a similar thing and go to someone who is a bourbon enthusiast's house and try a bunch. My complaints could be similar to him in a different way. Like, I'm getting just brown sugar on all these bourbons. Yeah. And I think that's probably going to be a similar thing to people who are used to bourbon coming into Scotch. They're going to be getting that multi profile on everything. I would love to hear what you guys watching this, what would you do if you were recommending Brewzle 5 Scotch whiskies? What would you be picking? If you're a bourbon drinker, what would you recommend to us Scotch drinkers? What should we try to break into the bourbon world?
Brewzle's hunting, the Scotch leaf away. We're dropping peat bombs all day, every day.